Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the OBT Show. I'm Chris.
I'm Brendan, and this episode's called Stomach Full of Hay. Because Chris ate a lot of food before coming over.
And Daddy had a couple of beers last night.
And by Daddy had a couple beers, we mean a lot of beers.
The town is restocking right now.
All the bartenders of our town came out of their shops and just waved the white flag and, as Budweiser and Bud Light trucks pummeled through town.
Help us, please.
Please refuel us. The one known as Thurston has been in town.
Hey, it's been quite a while.
It's been a while. And to be honest, it's been a while since you and I have had the chance to sit face to face, and I get haunted and lost by those baby blues.
Oh, the sweet sounds of your voice in my ears so close. It feels like you're inside my head.
It feels like you're inside my body.
That is for another day.
But a lot to catch up on. Apologies, we have a lot to cover, and it's been, again, one of those things. I feel like I keep saying it, but I get really crazy busy. You get very crazy busy. You have a much more demanding schedule now that you're not in town anymore.
Oh, yeah, 4 hours of commuting every day.
Right, so we don't always get the opportunity to sit down and chat, but we did get the opportunity a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And to be honest, and to be fair, it's not like it's been a long time.
No.
But New York Comic-Con happened.
Yes, it did.
And we were both able to attend.
Yes, we did.
Now, to kind of set the tone, I went 2 days. You went all 4, right?
No, I went 3.
You went 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I made it to 2. I'll talk about my travel woes and my experiences that expedited my exit from the Comic-Con. And I was already kind of in the mindset I'm leaving on Saturday, but I was like, I'm leaving Friday night, and I'll get to that later. But we happened to attend a lot of cool things. You got some interviews. I came up with jack as far as interviews are concerned.
Yeah, I went to an interview with the cast of Bob's Burgers, which was a lot of fun, and we have some audio for that.
We have some audio that I'm not sure how we're going to intertwine that in this episode or a future episode.
We'll play it whenever we want.
We're not beholden by some stupid publicist who thinks that they are going to get a quick turnaround on their interviews. You know what? We like to think about it, digest it. We write transcripts of it.
We give it time. Let it simmer.
We let it simmer. So we'll get back to you in December. What were your initial thoughts, first off, in terms of like what were some of the highlights for you?
For Comic-Con?
Yeah, for Comic-Con.
It very much seemed like it was Comic-Con 2013. A lot of the people that had their booths were in the exact same spot they were last year.
Yes.
I felt like the overall flow was a lot easier this year. People were moving, or I guess maybe people had a little bit more experience. Like, they had a lot more newcomers last year, and this year they had even more people than attended San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was the big thing that I didn't realize was that New York City Comic-Con for the first time has surpassed San Diego in terms of attendance.
Yeah, that's impressive. We do occur after theirs, but still, I mean, we're a smaller con in the sense that we don't get the big movie releases, but we get a lot of really good TV show and comic news.
Right.
So it's awesome.
It was a good time, and I think I agree with you. It did feel very much like last year. Now, I tried to think in my mind, is it because we were used to that? You know what I mean? That we were a little bit more jaded, where it's not so much like, whoa, we're more like, all right, this is what we got to do. We got a list. Because our mindset was much different than last year.
Oh, yeah. This year was a little bit more lackadaisical.
I wouldn't say we were more methodical, I think, because on Thursday we decided that day's the day we get our stuff. We buy things because the line was shorter. Friday was panel day, and that's how I did it. And then you did the same thing.
I showed up, and I was wearing shoes, so that's I could walk around.
And I brought hand sanitizer because I think everybody's full of germs.
Oh, it's gross.
It's gross. and Comic-Con is just gross in general, and sometimes. But you know, I was able to attend. Didn't get into any actual interview circles, which is okay. But I did get to attend Kevin Smith's panel, which was always hysterical. And
funny. You were very excited about that.
I love Kevin Smith. It's a great time. Comic Book Men, AMC, they were doing their own special panel like they always do now, but it always inevitably turns into a Kevin Smith Q&A because no one's really asking the Comic Book Men too many questions, but part of the course.
No, they got to ask the genius.
They got to ask the man in charge.
Yeah.
And you got to go to not only the Bob's Burgers interview, but you and I attended the Bob's Burgers panel.
Yes, it was great. The publicist for the show was going around giving all of the press reserve seating tickets, so we skipped the entire wait line and got to go see the panel, which was great. It was actually a pretty good panel.
Well, let's back up a bit. Once they figured out how to how to understand what our tickets were.
Oh yeah, they didn't know what was going on. You're reserved?
They're like, what? A very nice woman, by the way. To anyone listening that runs near Comic-Con, there were some pretty nice people that were
very helpful
there. They're very
staff.
helpful staff.
Yeah.
But nobody seems to really have a solid
No
understanding
idea.
of what was happening with the tickets,
Zero.
with the wristbands. Because I had my own experience with Kevin Smith on Friday where it was, you got there early and Kevin Smith's was the very first panel of the day. And you had to line up, if you're not familiar, you had to line up and get wristbands, and then for the opportunity to line up more.
So basically,
the,
the coffee is just settling in their stomachs. It hasn't really kicked in,
No.
so everything was kind of clusterfuck.
Yeah, it was. And so you have people running down the large, which is probably about the length of, I want to say the length of a football field almost, from one end to end. Is that how you would describe
Yeah,
it?
I would say that. It's huge.
It's huge. And then they would do a quick U-turn and then run back up to get the wristband. And in the process, you had people in the Kevin Smith line, and you'd have people that worked at the con saying, follow me if you want to go get other tickets, other wristbands. So what would happen is people would follow this guy and then just go, fuck this, I'm just going to jump in, and then skip to the very front of the line. And then people started arguing, and the guy's like, I'm watching everybody. And I was like, no, you're not, because I see people just bypassing you altogether.
Yeah, it's a tough system because they didn't really have a good system to begin with, and they tried something new, which was, I give them props.
Oh, yeah, me
It's
too.
brave.
Yeah.
It was with Angry Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
You need to have a set of cojones to tell them, no, this is the way we're going to do it this year. But I still don't think it's perfected yet.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a good idea, though. They started clearing the main stage, which is something they don't do at San Diego, where you kind of camp out. But it was funny when you and I we got to go to the 75th anniversary of Batman United States Postal Service stamp presentation. You thought that was cool, right?
That was great. That was awesome.
It was Jim Lee, Dan DiDio, and representatives from the United States Postal Service. Ralph Garman was there from K-Rock.
Jim Cochran from the post office.
Ralph Garman, K-Rock, and Hollywood Babylon. Kevin Smith.
I couldn't remember who he was, but I knew.
Yeah, you were like,
who
is that?
I know it. I just don't know it.
And Batman himself was there.
That was
kind of funny.
Kind of funny Batman.
It was because he was a very bulky Batman, which was fine. But we had the eye shot of the backstage area where he was seeming to get his instructions. It was just funny to see a very tiny blonde publicist kind of yell at Batman to be like, stand here, not there.
No,
I love stamps.
It was pretty cool. I got to shake hands with Jim Lee, which was,
you met him.
No words.
I know. It was just because you got there early because I got there not late.
I don't think I was supposed to be there yet.
No.
They weren't going to bring press in for a while, and I showed up and I just said, like, hey, I'm here early. Where do I go for the Batman thing? And the woman was just like, well, I'll take you with me. And I was standing around, and Jim Lee's just standing next to me looking at the stage, and I was like, hello, I'm going to cry now and walk away slowly.
And then the other thing for me was I got there right on the time that I was supposed to, and there was a random line out there that no one really seemed to know. And I asked, I said, is this for United States Postal Service event? And they're like, what? And I was like, okay. And then I just moved on. And then I waited out in front, and then nobody was letting anybody in. And I saw you, and we had this like, friend. And I was like, friend. And then they wouldn't let me in for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, they said it was going to be like 5 minutes. That's why I said to you, I was like, oh, it's only going to be like a couple minutes. Yeah. And then I walked downstairs, and then I was downstairs for a while like, okay, hopefully sometime they'll let them in because the event starts in 5 minutes.
And I waited, and amongst everyone else, and people were getting angry because, again, you had security guards not knowing really what was going on versus publicists that were not really sure if they could be authorized to let people in.
Oh, yeah, and you have press people that want to get set up.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get a good spot, get our equipment ready, and go. And when you can't do that, you get a little tense.
A little tense. And then, but we did, I thought the quote of that moment was when somebody from the press turned to us and said, you got to go to San Diego Comic-Con. It makes New York Comic-Con. He goes, San Diego Comic-Con is Las Vegas. New York is Atlantic City. I was like, okay, that puts it in perspective.
And
so
we got to go.
And we got to go. We'll go. We heard it here first.
We're going to go.
We're going to go. That's a big announcement. I just imagine us, if we ever had like any poll in the future, like spending millions on a banquet and a party, and we just go, we got to go to San Diego. Thank you. Good night.
And then just out.
Then a giant banner. We got to go.
A band just starts playing in the background.
But I had fun, and I got to a couple of panels. We went to the Ron Perlman panel, which was awesome.
Yeah, he's a very intense, real person.
He was great because people had questions, and they were like, what do you think? Do you have any advice for a young actor that wants to do? And he was just like, just keep going. It was like, and then someone was like, do you know anything about the series finale of Sons? He goes, nope.
And that's it.
Next question.
Just so like to the point. Someone asked him about like previous stuff that he's acted in, and he was just like, he's like, no, I don't remember any of that. I was on a lot of acid.
Yes, that was the best part.
I did tell you that.
And the best was, and I don't know who was interviewing him. And the guy that interviewed him didn't really seem to know too much about
The guy that was sitting at the table?
Yeah.
I think it was his book publicist.
Probably, but he seemed a little out of his element. I wish it was someone that maybe had known Ron a bit better, or was someone that was more acclimated to those interviews, because Ron had made I'm calling him Ron because I know him now.
We're close.
Ronnie. He was talking about how he has conversations with God, and the guy was like, well, what are those kind of conversations like? Are you staring up at the ceiling and being like, why, God, you do this? Like, what is that like? He goes, it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah. That was great.
It was awesome. And then I got to go see Andrea Romano, who was the voice director for cartoons like DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and the big one for me, Batman animated series. And she does Teen Titans now as well.
That's awesome.
So that was cool. I liked it, but I only made it. I don't, unless you had some other stuff to make. I'm going to go talk about my hotel.
Oh, I got to meet the lovely, awesome, very, very punctual Jessica Negri.
Who I didn't know who you were talking about. You were so excited, and I was like, who?
She is awesome. She stands in basically some of the best cosplay, outfits.
Yeah.
She was in Magneto getup, and people were it was the longest line in the entire building. Like, people were just going to go see, her.
Yeah.
And she's really, really cool with all her fans. She takes a little time with everybody. And she said when she hugged me that, ooh, this is nice, which made my day.
and I know she said that because you repeated it 8 times.
8 times. Yeah. And the OBT shirt is never going to get washed.
No.
It's going to get gross.
It's going to go hang up in the rafters of your bedroom. It'll be a very short ceremony because you'll be like, ring, and it's up.
Championship acquired.
Championship acquired.
But besides that, I think it was just a very, very, very. It just seemed like it flowed. Like, everywhere I walked, I didn't get stopped.
Right.
Like, last year, we got stopped so many times where we were walking, you couldn't even progress further.
Right.
There's just too much people. And this year, it just seemed like everybody had an idea of what they wanted to do, so it kept just moving. Even when I took my sister on Sunday, she loved it, and we got to move around. She got to see the whole show floor, Artist Alley. Put her hand in bird poop. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Well,
New York City, man.
It's what you got to do at the con. It's on a checklist. Put your hand in bird shit. See what happens. So my horror story was I went back to my hotel.
We're going to that segment.
Sorry, it's a hard transition.
Horror Alley. Scary stories
AKA
told by Brendan.
Secaucus, New Jersey.
Da, da, da.
We stayed in the area. Last year was fine. Different hotel, same area, so I thought we'd be fine. I did one of those Priceline deals where it's like, for $80 a night, we won't tell you what the hotel is. And I was like, all right, Priceline, I trust you, because we did this last year.
And we didn't.
And we had a great time.
We snuggled.
We snuggled. We did.
With that one
we did sleep in
bedroom.
the same bed because they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that option." I was like, "Great, thanks." So
Wait, did you just pull that out of a hat?
what?
Your desk woman voice?
I did.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was a high five.
Thank you. Impressions. And long story short, I'm watching TV in my boxers and my T-shirt, settling it in, getting ready for the night, and I see a little cockroach pop its head out from underneath the TV.
Hello.
Yep, pretty much just like that. And then go back in, and I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, and she's like, "It'll be fine. It's not bad." I'm like, "It makes me terrified." And then I swear another one popped out at a different corner because it looked different from the first one. And that was the end of it. It's his cousin. I was like, "Oh, we got a friend." And I called down. The hotel was nice enough that they switched me. They switched me into one of their like big suites, but I didn't sleep well at all because at that point I was paranoid that everything was disgusting.
So you made sure that your body was wrapped in like 12 layers of saran wrap to protect
I
yourself?
literally at one point had my nose so close to the sheets looking for bed bugs because I was getting so paranoid.
Oh my
God. And I was
God.
inspecting, and I closed up all my bags. Everything was closed up tight. Nothing was left out. And then I got done with the con on Friday at like 6. I got back to Secaucus, and I just went to Hotel Desk and said, I'm skeeved out by this entire experience, and I'm going to go home, and I would like a refund. And they were like, call Priceline. So I had to call Priceline, and then they were like, okay, now we have to call the hotel. So it took me like half an hour.
Yeah, it's like a process.
It's a bit of a process, but they were like, we can't give you a full refund, but we can give you a night off. I said, that's fine. I'm fair. That's fair. I did stay one night. Cool. Just take off the one night on this one.
I bet you that you contacted those cockroaches a day ahead and planned the whole thing out.
Because I'm that devious. I haven't written a review yet. I will. I have to do that.
Yeah, let it simmer a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let the hatred build.
The hatred build.
Once you start typing, the words are coming out. You have to let it pent up.
It was Thursday, October 8th.
In the rain.
In the rain. And a roach made its way to my bed. But that was my con. Unfortunately, I remember that most about the con. Cockroaches.
Yeah. But I remembered most hugging Jessica Negri.
So you hugged a girl, and I dealt with a bug problem. Comic-Con 2014.
We did it right.
Any other final thoughts before we move on? On the con?
No.
Okay.
The entire cast of Bob's Burgers sounds exactly like they do in real life in the show.
Yes.
It's weird.
It's funny, and funny you mentioned that because H. John Benjamin and Eugene Mirman, is it Mirman or Mirman?
I don't know.
Well, they do something called Flotsam. I don't know if you read this article.
No.
It is a online shopping experience that they're calling a postmodern shopping experience, where they offer 3 mystery bags. The small one for $40, a medium one, and a large one. Like the medium is $60, and then $80 is the large.
Okay.
You don't know what you're getting. It's all handpicked and curated by H. John Benjamin and Eugene Mirman.
Jesus.
And it's flotsam.com. Check it out. I bought the small one because I read the article, and it was funny because H. John Benjamin notes, he's like, it could be a Bob's Burgers mustache. And then Eugene Mirman goes, but it could be a mustache that's platinum. And if you go to the website, it's like, can I get a refund? And it just says, answer, ha, 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 ha. But supposedly it is all handpicked by those two. And
That's great.
And they're like, it's not it's not a bag of sand because you wouldn't want a bag of sand. And that wouldn't be funny for us. And not funny for you.
It'd be funny for someone.
It'll be like it'll be something that could spark a conversation, but you won't expect what it is. So I was like, I have to get this. So I ordered it. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to arrive.
Okay, because they have lives.
Because they have lives.
Okay.
And I was order number 500 something. So I'm like, obviously there's a lot of people that are interested.
Once they found out, I guess, that they were involved, they were like, yep.
So I'll let you know. I'll do a full report on here.
Yes.
Maybe even save it and open it live in front of you. Because I have no idea what's
the
coming.
first ever OBT show unboxing?
Hey! That we had to pay for ourselves because nobody supports us from the media.
Zero support.
Our company. But the big news that happened recently is that finally we got our taste, a sweet
that was
taste
succulent.
of Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. So good.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, watching it again.
I want to watch it again too. The story was, it leaked. It was supposed to premiere on ABC during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this coming Tuesday. It leaked online.
Yeah,
pretty much everywhere.
International trailer
Went all over the internet. Marvel was trying their best to squash it, and then they realized it was a futile effort, and then released the actual high-def version, which was amazing.
Not before tweeting out that Hydra did it.
Yes, they're like, "Damn it, Hydra!" I think that was their actual tweet.
Oh
which
my
is so
god,
funny.
that is probably the best way to use PR to your advantage. Like bad stuff happening to you, turning it good. Oh my god.
So that was funny.
Blame everything on Hydra.
Yes, and I was impressed. I guess it was cool to see the footage, but for me, I want to see a little bit more because it was very standard superhero-y.
Well, yeah, it was a teaser trailer, so we're not going to get
the full thing
but we do know it's global. It's huge.
Yes.
This is going to be filmed in multiple locations, or it was filmed, so we know that it's all over the world. We see the Hulkbuster uniform.
going up against the Hulk, not just teasing.
Not just, oh, here it is, but here it is in action, which is great.
Yep.
I'm getting goosebumps again. I'm telling
know,
you.
right?
This,
You are. Holy crap.
This trailer was amazing. It had a very haunting, echoey, I've Got No Strings from Pinocchio.
Said by the awesome James Spader.
Oh, so good. We got to see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in and out of uniform. There was a quick shot of them where they were like in a crowd and they were like yelling, like they were protesting, and then you got to see them with their powers. So we might see the transition of them before and after they got their powers, or maybe there's backstory. We got to see. What else did we see?
Well, you got to see some imagery at the end. Pretty much, it was very it had a very Empire Strikes Back feel to it.
Bad.
Where
Doom,
it's going to be terrible things are happening. Captain America's shield's cracked in
broken,
half.
Done.
Now,
I'm doing word association.
You're doing word association. Thank you. It's interesting because this was paired with news that came out just a few days ago as well, that Captain America 3 is likely to prominently feature Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, and will be a kickoff of the Civil War storyline. Which, if you're not familiar, it is based off of an event that happens to the New Warriors. They are chasing a couple of villains, one of them named Nitro, happens to go to an elementary school, and it's all caught live on camera because they're trying to film a reality show because no one thinks that they're serious.
Yes.
Nitro explodes because his power is explosions and kills over 300 people, and mostly children. So the government says if you're a superhero, you have to register.
You have to get a little tag.
Yep. Tony Stark is pro, but in doing the registration, you have to reveal your secret identity. He recruits Spider-Man, and Peter Parker comes out and says, "I'm Spider-Man." And Captain America
himself. That was intense.
That was intense. And Captain America leads the anti-registration side because he feels it's anti-American. It's not. Everyone has the right to privacy, and he leads his own small team. So it's a very cool storyline. But I could definitely see the ending of Avengers 2 informing the Superhero Registration Act, because the early reports say that Tony creates this not superhuman, but this
I hope they
robot
don't sell that
army.
too early.
What?
The Superhuman Registration Act. I hope that they wait, because we still have a couple movies before Cap 3. We have Ant-Man.
Well, I'm my guess, and this is how I see it. I think you're going to get it at the end, and then you're not going to deal with it until Captain America 3. It'll be background noise of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And I could see it not being an issue until towards the end. Maybe the end of Ant-Man is an Iron Man or Captain America saying, pick a side.
Okay. And it makes sense because Ant-Man's supposed to be more of a
ambiguous
anti-hero.
He's more
comedy.
of a dummy. Yeah, he's kind of a dummy, and he's a petty thief that happens upon the suit, and he gets thrown into the world of superheroes because he's taking the mantle of, in the comic books, of a guy that was a superhero.
But also a huge a-hole.
Yes. Which Yellow Jacket was his name for a while, which is interesting because in the Ant-Man movie, it's played by Corey Stoller, Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
So they're splitting the persona where it's going to be not Hank Pym, but Scott Lang.
Yeah.
Was that it?
I think Scott Lang, yeah.
Scott Lang. Which is actor. Paul Rudd.
Oh, when you snapped, I was like, that was cool.
Forgot. Paul Rudd, and then Corey Stoller is going to play Yellow Jacket. So I'm not sure. They're probably going to split out the personas so that they have a clear villain.
And they have more, going on.
Yeah. So my guess is Avengers 2, Ultron kills everybody, or mostly, you think everybody, because in comics and in movies, no one ever really dies. So I would.
It's the Marvel way.
And they do have an escape clause, which is kind of a bit of a MacGuffin. But if they really wanted to kill the most, like half the Avengers, an easy way to bring them back? You have the reality gem on Thanos' hand. Yep. And that could make it all better if a superhero somehow figures out the gem can recreate. And you also have, and somebody, you sent me this article, right, about Captain America transporting back to the 40s?
It looks like it's either somebody's mentally doing that to him, or he actually goes through time, because there's a quick shot and everyone's in World War II garb.
Yep.
Everyone's like, it looks like a very formal room, but he's in a full Captain America outfit. So it looks out of place.
My guess is that
there was a couple of shots that looked out of place. There was the ballerina scene.
Yeah.
So we were thinking we might get more Black Widow.
Right, doing some training or some historical background.
Yeah, like when she was young or something.
But Scarlet Witch does have the reality powers. So she could be
Yes.
warping reality and messing with Captain America's head.
That's true.
Or it's Captain America in a coma or some weird crap like that because he's dead.
And we definitely got the shot of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch with Ultron, so we know that they are starting off bad. We know that.
Right.
They could be good. They're going to be good.
They're going to be good. And I don't know if it's going to be Baron von
Strucker's in it.
Baron von Strucker's in it, but why am I blanking on the guy in the computer in Captain America 2? Downloaded his consciousness. Zola.
Yes.
So you could have Zola being the catalyst and creator of Ultron, which makes the most sense.
No, of the mindset, you mean?
The mindset,
yeah,
right?
Okay,
So I mean, Stark creates the program, but Zola could manipulate it on behalf of Red Skull, which would be a nice twist because Red Skull is still out there, which is a weird thing that they haven't mentioned him yet. But Red Skull,
I don't know if they're going to bring him back.
But they could. I mean,
They
Winter
could.
Soldier,
That's one of those ones they could just pull out of nowhere and bring him back.
because Captain America is killed off by Red Skull
So
agents.
Is it going to happen?
If it happens in that, because that post-Civil War, then you
Yeah.
could have Bucky take the mantle and ultimately claim his destiny, so to speak, and finish the job that he was denied in World War II, i.e. take down Red Skull, which was their mission in the first place.
I don't know if they're going to go that far. They don't know if they've built up. Bucky enough.
They've forecasted out till 2020. They got time to build
That's
that.
true. That's true. That's true.
Which would be cool.
I'm not going to sell them short. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marvel.
It's okay. But that does segue nicely into...
I just wanted to apologize.
I'd like to just apologize to Marvel for speaking out of turn.
selling their product short before it even happened.
Yep. I'm sorry, Marvel.
And that brings us to another topic that we would like to talk about involving Marvel, which is the onslaught of movies between Marvel and DC.
Yes, and you sent me this link as well, which lays out everything, right?
It's huge.
It's a little intimidating, to be quite honest.
Because you, at least for Marvel, you've got 3 studios. You've got Fox, Sony,
And Marvel.
Now, Fox is still going to be doing X-Men movies. We've got Deadpool. We've got Wolverine.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. Oh, shit. I forgot about
Yep.
that one. Fantastic Four. You've got Sony still has the rights to Spider-Man, but it's looking a little shaky. They've got other movies listed, but they pulled a lot of them.
Yeah, they were going to do a standalone Venom, but I think now that's been... And a Carnage. Now they're doing
mixed.
Venom Carnage, though.
Every bit of hatred towards Sony with their rights to Spider-Man makes me want to be angry.
Now, there was also...
That's a sentence.
a report that there was preliminary discussion between these studios on leasing Spider-Man to the Avengers, which would be awesome, but I highly
really
doubt it's
cool.
going to happen because everybody's greedy.
Yeah, money ruins everything.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Andrew Garfield's game, supposedly, according to interviews, like he would love to do
Everyone's game.
Everyone's game to do
Except for the executives.
Who control the
and-
money.
Yeah. Yep.
Boo to you, executives. I would say yes, because everybody would make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. No,
if you released to the public Spider-Man, a.k.a. Andrew Garfield, is going to be in Avengers 3, people are going to blow their minds up.
everyone, not only are they going to see it already, but they're going to go see it twice. They're
Yes.
going to go see it 3 times.
Yes.
They're going to make their monay.
Yes.
And everyone will be able to share their money.
Yes. So...
I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult.
It shouldn't be that difficult. And then on the flip side, you have DC, which has some very interesting movies on the slate. I'm really excited about Suicide Squad.
I feel like, honestly, they're playing it a little bit more ballsy than Marvel is. They're not playing it safe at all. They're doing a Wonder Woman movie. It's going to be the first female superhero action movie that's coming out in this like onslaught of movies that we're watching. What else was there? Standalone Green Lantern.
Standalone Green Lantern, Flash.
Another standalone Batman.
Another standalone
with,
Batman.
Batfleck.
Yep.
And another standalone
Cyborg.
Superman. Was Cyborg getting a full movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Which is
he's
funny.
such a cool character.
Which is funny because
I don't care if he's their version of Captain America.
I don't mind.
I love Cyborg.
Which is funny because the guy playing Cyborg, there was a report that somebody asked him, reporter, like, what do you think of your standalone movie? And he didn't know that it was happening. So he was informed by the same way we all were by the announcement. He's like, that's cool. So I think it's exciting.
I'm excited.
However, they did say the Flash television show, it's not going to be the same guy who plays
and
him.
same thing with
Green Arrow.
which I don't know if we're going to get a Green Arrow in this Justice
No,
League. Which,
we might not.
if we have Green Lantern, they might just say
Just say, that's your
fine.
green guy.
You got one color?
You got one color. Red man. Batman.
One per color.
One
That's
per
it.
color. And then there was
You've got the Supermans, you got the Xena warrior princess, and the Batman. You're good.
and the guy that talks to the fishy, the fishy guy, fishy man.
Oh, I'm actually very excited for an Aquaman movie.
I think it'll be
cool. I think that cartoons make it harder for it to be awesome. I feel like real life, live action, you've got sharks and he's
Giant
riding on their
octopus.
backs. And, I mean, the guy lives in the ocean, which
Right.
should crush him if he was
Right.
of a normal, being. But
Right.
he's like super jacked, and it's played by the guy that played Khal Drogo,
Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa.
So it stands to be
Pretty awesome.
probably one of their better ideas.
In
And
a
we get
long
Justice
time.
League movie, and this one's basically that's coming out is going to be essentially like a quick reveal of everyone. I'm assuming
Yes,
it's not going to be they're not going to be major players, but
No, they're not going to be major players. And you're right. I think it's going to be more of a everybody coming together to help in this one moment, and then you get background later.
yeah, I think a lot of it, like something bad is going to happen, and you're going to get a pan of like quick shots of all of them in their different respective areas, going like, "We need to help."
Which would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. It just actually like seemed really awesome in my head.
And then they can get a shot of Ryan Reynolds in his apartment, like, I guess it's time to. Then someone punches him in the face.
And then the ring just flies off.
Yeah, the ring just flies off.
Fuck this shit.
And it's Idris Elba who picks it up and is Jon Stewart Green Lantern, which I really hope they do.
Oh my god. That would
That's
be
my
so
fantasy
cool.
casting.
That would be so cool.
That would be awesome. If it was
I
Idris
feel like
Elba.
I mean only because of the fact that he's too old at this point
Yeah.
to play the role.
Well, they
If
made
got
Batman
him-
old.
No, it's not that. Green Lantern that's one that you're going to keep using over
Right.
time, and they need to have him a little bit younger. They're already set with the idea of an old Batman, but I don't think they want everyone
No,
old. That'd be
Probably
boring.
not. That would be boring. And they announced that Batfleck will have the Tim Burton style suit with the not mobile cowl,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of cool. I like that version.
Yeah, no, I think everything that they have going for them so far is cool. There's rumors that there's going to be a trailer, very Batman heavy trailer.
Yeah, which
being
I'm
released.
excited.
I think it's basically DC scrambling because
Marvel is taking. Yeah,
Marvel released probably one of the best. We have to see it trailers in a long time.
Yep.
It broke the record for Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
It broke the record for the original Avengers. So, I mean, a lot of people saw it in 24 hours, like 35 million views or something like that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Here's the one thing that's now the flip side of this is that all of this came from comics. Okay?
Yes.
All of this came from comic books. Two reports that made me sad. One is that Marvel is canceling Fantastic Four, the comic book. It did not do. It hasn't been doing well in sales to begin with, but they're canceling it because they are all pissy about Fox having the rights to Fantastic Four and they don't want to support it.
Which is
But
upsetting.
It's upsetting, and they had no problem before with them having the rights. Now they're all like, "F them, we don't like that," so they're going to kill off.
Is it because of what they're doing with the most recent movie?
Yep,
Oh.
they don't want to support it.
Yeah.
The other thing,
It's interesting. I want them to do it. I want them to do something new.
I want them to do the movie, but I don't like the fact that Marvel is kind of being a little bitchy about it and being like, "We're going to cancel our comic book because we don't want to support this Marvel franchise."
Well, I mean, they have Disney backing them, so
It might be
kind of
Disney.
hard to
Yeah, but I don't like
deny whatever they want to do.
it. Right, but I don't like it. I
When
think
is
it's
Disney
the
told
service.
no?
That's true.
That's what I want to know.
And then the other thing is that Marvel is also apparently not creating any new mutant characters because any new mutant character rights go to Fox.
Yes.
And that's also the rumor is that that's one of the other reasons why they're doing the Death of Wolverine comic series that just ended and Wolverine is officially dead. And
Like
it will
dead.
stay dead for quite some time
Yes.
because they don't want to be supportive of Fox films anymore, which is a shame.
It is, but at the same time, I don't think they could have seen into the future of what these movie rights would have meant. Nobody really knew how
Don't apologize for the conglomerate.
No. Nobody really knew how big these movies were going to get. You can't tell me that.
No.
I mean, Batman is like solidified, iconic, And then now you've got everybody's got a shot. Everyone. It doesn't matter who. Guardians of the Galaxy made more money than anybody would have ever dreamed.
Right.
It's made more than Avengers.
Well, I agree with all that you're saying. I just don't like the...
Or it did on the opening weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just don't like the sort of I'm going to take my toys home approach that they're taking with properties that...
Did they have much of a choice? Other than throwing a lot of money?
I think if you there's a way to do it where you reinvigorate those characters, because that's the longest running Marvel series is Fantastic Four. It's the first family of Marvel.
That's true. That's true.
It's a franchise. It's a flagship series, and that's why it's disappointing to me. It's one thing if it's, I don't know. I mean, I'd be disappointed if it was Deadpool, but I would be like, all right, I guess they don't want. But this is Fantastic Four. This is what Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, they built their blood, sweat, and tears on.
Have they gotten any interviews with them to say like how they feel about it?
Stan Lee is a corporate guy. He's not going to say anything.
Oh yeah, he's just happy he's in all the movies.
And Jack Kirby's family, I think, just recently settled. I think that's what it was. They may have recently settled the lawsuit with Marvel, so they're probably going to keep their mouths shut. But a couple of interesting articles about Stan Lee pretty much kind of selling his soul, so to speak, to still maintain the figurehead role of Marvel,
still
and taking money from
keep everyone happy.
pretty much making his money off the backs of all his artists and other writers who did not get credit in the '60s for creating things, and he did. One of those. Everybody's in the room, but Stan's there, so Stan's going to put his name on it. So a lot of writers have been like, yeah, we all had input on this. It's not like Stan just woke up one day with all the X-Men in his head.
Yeah, no, I never believed that either.
I never believed that either, but but his name is on everything, therefore he's going to be, hello, true believers. Sorry, that's my terrible Stan Lee.
That was terrible.
Give me a hug. Stand in a van.
Even creepier.
Stand in a van. You want to see my neck crawler? Stand in a van. Coming soon to Fox.
Sweet old man taken down.
Sorry. So other than that, that's pretty much the news, right? Did you have anything else?
I think
we covered a lot, man.
That was a lot, but it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So we needed to do a little word
We need
vomit.
to release.
We needed to release.
What did you learn today, Chris?
I mean, where do I start? And that's what I learned today. What did you learn today, Brendan?
Your biggest takeaway from Comic-Con? You got to hug a girl.
And a beautiful one at that.
Creep. I'm Brendan.
I'm Chris.
Have a good one.